Here's an example that's a little bit more advanced and demonstrates why sessions might be valuable in a realistic example. What I've done is I've taken our commenting system, and I've password protected it so that a user has to log in order to make a comment and or view the comments. So let's take a look at how this occurs. Notice that comments2.php up here. If I were to log out and directly try to access comments2.php, it redirects the user back to the login page. So that's what we want to have happen. So I'm going to look at the login page first. Excuse me. The login page, I have a simple function that's going to connect to the database and check to see if this particular user with this particular password is in the database. Now, if you were to look over here at login, let's see here. Oops. If we were to look here at login, we can see that I have two users, two passwords, and basically want to connect and I'm just doing a simple comparison. And if that user is in the database with that particular password, it should have more than one row, or at least one row, I guess, in the database, and so that should return a true if the user is valid. So anyways, the page is loaded up. I check to see if they have submitted the login button. Down here is just the simple form that displays the stuff. But check to see if they've clicked the login button. And if they have clicked the login button, we'll go ahead and check the user, this function, by sending the username and password. Now I was sending these via get because I wanted to demonstrate. But typically you wouldn't send it via get because you don't want to send those in the URL string where people can see them. So if that returns a true, then what I want to do is I want to go ahead and start the session. I can register whatever session variables I want. In this case, I registered a username variable, which is set to whatever was submitted in the form. And we'll talk about cookies later on, but in this case, I'm setting a cookie, and I'm immediately redirecting them to the comments2.php page. If they put an invalid password, we can check for that and test for that as well. So for example, put Tom and Tom, invalid user password. Joe and Joe were in the database, immediately redirects us over here. Now to get comments2 to correctly interpret those session variables, the very top of the page I need to say start up my session and then check to see if I do not have a session variable set by the name of user, and that's when I set back over here on login.php. So if I do not have that variable set, redirect them to login.php. And that's pretty much it. That's how I would redirect a user and password protect any page that I want to. I could have this at the top, check to see if they haven't logged in. Maybe I check to see if they aren't an administrator. I won't allow them access to certain pages on the site. So that's a quick overview of a realistic example of a session.